Hello, welcome back. Well, I have just created this WordPress application architecture on Trystack. Here, if you see, I have a three-tier application, and I have MySQL database server, and I am running a web server, and there is a browser component as well, though it is not a very typical three-tier application, but well, just for kind of visualization, I'm calling it a three-tier application, though it is a bit looks like a two-tier application, but let's assume that we are dealing with a three-tier application or similar. Okay, so here if you see that this is the user, and it is user, I am the user, and we are connecting to the internet through our web browser, and the internet is connected to the Trystack environment, and in the Trystack environment we have a MySQL database server, we have a web server, and in the web server we have the WordPress application running. And what we are going to do is we are going to create two instances, one web server, one MySQL server, and they're going to connect to a internal router, and this is going to be internal network. I'm not going to expose my database to the internet. So in my architecture diagram, if you see, I am only connecting my web server to the internet. Okay, I'm not connecting MySQL server to outside the Trystack environment. So this will be this router will be connected to the internal network, whereas my web server, I'll assign a public IP. Okay, I'm not assigning any public IP to MySQL database server. Okay, that will be my architecture here. That's normally done in a practical environment as well. Normally in a cloud environment, you don't expose your data to public. You only expose your web server, which you are supposed to, the web server component, which you are supposed to show to the public facing side. That is what only we are going to show. So here in the WordPress application, there will be a web component that will be exposed to the internet, and that will be accessed by the web browser. And internally, there will be a application logic component that will be connected to the MySQL database server, and that is through a internal network. Okay, and that's all about it, and that's the architecture. With this architecture, let me go again to my Trystack environment, and if you see that my web server is already running, let me go ahead and create it is just okay, I re-logged in. This is now logged in, and now let me go ahead and create another instance. Okay, well, I'm going to create another security group, because I'm not going to whatever I'm going to assign the rules, I'm not going to assign the same rules to my database. That's why I'm going to create another security group. I call it database security group. Okay, database security group. Okay, go forward and create it. See the rules. Okay, okay, web. Okay, this is the DB. Only these two are by default. I'm going to add another rule to it, and here I believe yes, you see that MySQL, this is the rule I am going to add. Okay, that's all. So let me go ahead and create the instance, launch instance, DB server, small, source image, same CentOS, security group DB, select DB security group, networking, my network. And this my network is nothing but this is the internal network. It is not exposed to public. Okay. And okay, I'm good to go. Yes, go ahead and create it. So you see now my web server and DB server, these two are having the same key pair, but they are both are in two different security group. The security group is here. Here, the DB security group and the my web server is in different security group, my web security group. Okay. Now see how they look like in the network. Okay. Okay, this is Trystack. They have updated it, and now the network topology looks a bit different. Okay, so you see that this is the internal network, and okay, here is the router. This router is the public router. This is the interface between the outside internet and my internal network. These two are, now give the labels. Okay, you see that DB server and my web server are connected to my network, and in that way I am exposing, I have already given a public IP to my web server, but I am not assigning any public IP to DB server. Okay, so I am going to access my web server to the public, but I cannot access my DB server. Okay, so then without that, how can I access the DB server, right? That is a question, because I cannot access it from outside Trystack network, right? That is a question. So now go forward, instance DB server, and you see the console should be ready by now. Okay, here if you see that I cannot access it, I have no public IP. Okay, one way you can solve is first assigning a public IP to it, get access to it, and then remove that later so that you cannot access it anymore, and you can, so that you can access and you can set a password, and so that you can access that this from the web server instance. Okay, that's one way. For the time being, here what is the I cannot have two public IPs in Trystack, right? So what I can do is I can go ahead and disassociate my floating IP from my web server and assign the same to the DB server. Associate the floating IP to the DB server. Okay, associate it. Now I can access it. Okay, so what I did, I hope you understood. I just disassociated my the public IP from my web server and access it attached to DB server for time being, just to have access and install the MySQL server. But ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this and I'm going to only assign the web server. But still I will be able to access DB server through my web server. Okay, go ahead and access it. Now obviously this is gone, so I think the same thing, I have to create another session. Copy, call it DB server, though I can access with this as well, but just for sake of understanding, I'm going to set OS SSH auth browse and Trystack is the key. Well, I cannot still access it. Why? Because I have not given. Okay, I'll just come to that DB server, just save it for the time being. Okay, now you see that DB server in the security group I have not accessed the SSH. Just go for the time being and add the rule as the SSH so that I can access it. Okay, and hope I'm good to go. Yes, open. Okay, I am able to access it. Minus A. Okay, so you see that this is 192.168.1.109. This is 109 and 108. These are the internal IPs. So through these two internal IPs, they will communicate to each other. But through the public IP, I can access only one system, right? So here, I'm going to install MySQL server, and in the CentOS now, there is a exactly same database server that is called MariaDB that is available for CentOS, which is exactly the point in substitute for MySQL server. Okay, so here it is, yum sudo yum install MariaDB. MariaDB server. This is the client. MariaDB is the client, and MariaDB server is the MySQL server. Okay. Installing. Okay, install. Just go forward and update it. Sudo yum did -y. It may take some time. This is just the package update. so that I have the latest packages for my system for the SQL Server. So what I'm going to do is now create a database that is with the name of WordPress, create an user, give a password to it, and just allow the user to access the WordPress database. That's what I'm going to do with this MySQL server. Once that is done, we have already installed web server, and we are going to create a database. And now after this, what we're going to do is we'll download WordPress to the web server, and we'll also install web server. Okay, WordPress is on PHP. It is written on using PHP, so we have to install PHP on the web server. Then we'll configure WordPress to access the database, and after that we are ready to go. So we are almost done here updating the MySQL instance, MySQL server instance. It's taking time. It may take some time, depends on the speed. I believe the speed is good, but still it is taking some time. Okay, done. So now enable the service first. So sudo systemctl start MariaDB. Okay. Actually, before starting the server, you can do one thing. For security purpose, what you have to do is, let me stop it again. Okay. So this is MySQL secure instance. Secure. Okay. This is what you're going to do is this is MySQL secure installation is going to install some of the security aspect of MySQL server. So now if you run this command, it is going to ask what is the password of the root user for accessing MySQL server. So by default, it does not have any password. So just enter it. And now if you want to, okay, I'm sorry. So here we have to run it, because otherwise we cannot. So we run it. Now run this command. Now we are good to go. Yes. Now if you see that we are running, now the MariaDB server is running, and we run the command MySQL secure installation, and now it is telling set the root password. Okay, because first it will ask to enter the password, and we didn't have any password, so just enter OK. Set the root password. Yes, I want to set it up. Yes, new password. I call it ABCD. 1 2 3 4. Okay, enter A B C D 1 2 3 4. Remove the anonymous users, yes. Disallow root login remotely. You can allow it, disallow it, up to you. Let me allow it here. Okay, so I put no. The remove the test database. Okay, I'm going to remove it. Yes, enter. Reload privileges now. Yes, enter. Thanks for using MariaDB. Okay, now we are set and it is running. Now run MySQL minus u root minus p. So this is, we are going to run, and it will ask the password A B C D, which I gave 1 2 3 4. Now I am at the MySQL database command prompt, though it is MariaDB, but it is still the same code of MySQL server. Okay, now I'm going to create an user for a database. First thing first, create a database. Create db create database WordPress. Okay, create database WordPress, enter. Now again, create user WordPress user, I call it WP WordPress user. Okay, so here what at the rate I have to give this one, WP user localhost identified by and the password. I call it the just password. Okay, give a simple password so that I don't forget it. Create user WordPress user at the rate localhost identified by password. Okay, now we created user. Now give the user the privileges to access the database. So grant all privileges on which database? WordPress dot star to whom? To our newly created user, that is WP user at the right. Okay, here particularly this is the property of MySQL. You have to give from where you want to access the database, from which machine. It is dependent on that. This is the property of MySQL. So I want to give here called from anywhere, like from any system. If I want to access this database, and I should have the privileges. So any server means, percentage sign. Okay, from anywhere identified by again password. Okay, grant all privileges on WordPress.start to WP user at the rate all any host from any host identified by password. Okay, now this we have added the privileges. Now just flush the privileges so that it takes effect. So flush privileges. Okay, done. We are good. That's all we have to do with MySQL Server. Now we have to install PHP on the web server. So let's see that in our next video, and see you there. Thank you for watching.